I would like to begin this video by warning that this is an especially hot take. I know a lot of people won't agree with me, and that is absolutely fine. Just hear me out as I express my slightly exaggerated white-hot rage. You may not remember this or may not have been part of the fandom at the time, but there were a lot of mixed feelings surrounding Five Nights at Freddy's after the fourth game. To boil it down to the simplest point, a lot of people were saying that the FNAF franchise was getting stale or being milked. My best guess is that this was because the first 4 games were released so close together. There was also the contentious Five Nights at Freddy's World game. I won't talk long on the game, but there was something of importance hidden in the game's Halloween update. A teaser for the next game, and an unknown character who would be in it. Even before this next game came out, it was being billed as a new step in the franchise. Now, moving past the old story, we would be seeing a new side of the world. A new location. A sister location. Five Nights at Freddy's sister location was arguably a huge step in the FNAF franchise. Instead of just the typical office gameplay, there were also mini games. Little tasks to complete in the night while walking through the story. The story as well took significant changes from the past games. A story that was impressive at the time, but might have been a sign of things to come. The story of Sister Location involves an, at the time, unknown character as they work at Afton Robotics. While not yet revealed in the games, the name of the killer was revealed in alternative material, the one William Afton. To get this out of the way, you play as his son, Michael Afton. He is harassed by the animatronics, who in this case are Ballora the ballerina, Funtime Freddy and his hand puppet Bone Bone, and Funtime Foxy, who looks like Mangle but is of little to no relation. But arguably the real main character of Sister Location is a new animatronic, the animatronic teased in FNAF World, and the face of Afton's rental company, Circus Baby. Circus Baby's Pizza World is a spin-off chain from Freddy's that was created by William Afton. Circus Baby, the lead of the band, is the first animatronic to speak to the main character. She is helpful, leading them through the nights, and is a sweet face in an otherwise dire situation. At least, that's what she wants you to believe. In reality, Circus Baby is using you. Pretending to be kind and helpless, Baby is cold and ruthless, having been tortured down in Afton's for years and wanting nothing more than to escape. Baby herself has been built to abduct children, as are the rest of her band, and has succeeded in murdering at least one. That child would be Elizabeth Afton, William's daughter. There are suggestions that Baby is possessed by Elizabeth. Quote, I still hear her sometimes, but it should be noted that when she talks about her, she always speaks about her in third person. Remember this. Circus Baby, believing that Michael is William from how she baits him. Quick note, I double-checked and Michael Afton confirms that they mistook him for William. Future me, insert quote here.
They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you.
Thank you. She devises a plan to scoop his insides, climb inside with her band, and escape Afton Robotics. And they succeed. In the Halloween update it is revealed that they escaped Michael's body. In teasers after the fact, it is revealed that Baby was rejected from the body and abandoned by her bandmates. Before I continue, let me dive deeper into Circus Baby's personality in Sister Location. Underneath the act, Baby is cold, calculated, and angry. She is furious at how she's been treated, cold towards her bandmates, and is out to help herself. She's been shocked and torn apart for years, and she is tired of it. It is heavily suggested with how she uses Elizabeth's death to taunt the player that she believes he is William Afton. Didn't you want to see her again? She is manipulative, even mimicking Elizabeth's voice to convince him to give himself up. Only when they mimic the voice does she ever refer to herself as Elizabeth, and it is clearly for manipulation. And she dumps the body after it decays. They all do, not caring what happens to him. He is just a means to an end. Sometime after she's dumped by her band, she rebuilds herself, and then she makes her return as the shambling scrap baby in Freddy Fazbear Pizza Simulator. And she is back for revenge. This cold and calculating person only wants to appease her daddy. Yes. Baby has changed her opinions on William and really everything. Instead of anger, she is overflowing with worship for her father. And is doing everything because she knows that he's going to take care of her because she spontaneously forgot everything that happened in Afton Robotics. You can argue that she did somehow know that Michael was Michael, that he was wrong, and that even with all that anger and resentment that seeing William, and recognizing him, she instantly forgave him and fell in love with him, accepting herself as his daughter on the spot, and rapidly changed her MO. In which case, I still think this counts as a dramatic character change done off-screen. In short, Baby went through a massive character change, and a massive decline. But why on earth was this? Well, from the timing I believe it had something to do with the books. In case you didn't know, the Silver Eyes trilogy came out in this time. Originally one book, called something along the lines of FNAF The Real Story, was expanded to 2 more. One of these featured Baby as a villain. And oh my god. Baby is reimagined as a super sexy femme fatale sidekick to William Afton. Her notable contributions include disguising herself as the main character, say being in a skin-tight dress, kissing the main character's boyfriend, and obeying orders. Baby, once a cold and calculating threat, becomes a joke. Full disclosure, I think the first book is okay, but I feel like the third book might have kick-started the ridiculous decisions that the franchise began to make. Such as, William Afton completely changing characters and design in every game or book, William Afton having a sexy henchwoman who is completely at his mercy. And the sudden focus away from animatronics and instead onto androids and simulations. I also think the puppet wasn't originally supposed to be Charlie, but I'll get into that another time. That's more of a speculation piece than a hot take. Baby was killed off in Freddy Simulator, but she didn't stay dead. She was replaced with Vanessa and Vanny, who is clearly just a human replacement of Baby. A young woman in a questionable get-up who has daddy issues and works as William's puppet. She's even voiced by the same voice actress, and her father is said to be named Bill, the other name for William. Meanwhile in the books, a new character known as Eleanor was introduced. She has no relation to Baby at all except that she looks like her. She's actually some kind of demon fueled off the agony which is created when I am just going to leave it there. But I'm ranting on this for a reason. The books, in the long run, do not matter. Whatever they do in them doesn't matter. It is when it affects the games that it's a big deal, and in this case I believe that this idea worm, or whatever it was, spoiled what could have been a great character. Circus Baby, the original Circus Baby, was an incredibly cool character. She was threatening and cunning, and she could have continued returning as a villain. Well, if she hadn't have died. It didn't have to always be William in another rabbit suit, they could have had Baby return. Her scrap baby design is very effective. Imagine her crawling out of the basement in security breach and skating after you. Very neat. But she was thrown away. Turned into some sort of embarrassing mix of tropes and wasted potential. Played up as some big foil for Charlie Emily, when in reality this was just to keep playing up the admittedly non-existent rivalry between Henry, who is dead, and William, who keeps palette swapping. Baby had a tragic backstory, believable motives, and a spooky lack of remorse. She could have been great if just a little more care was taken. Also, might I add that in the fourth closet they confirmed that William Afton was physically and emotionally abusive towards Elizabeth. Having Baby effectively adapt the Elizabeth personality and then become totally subservient to William Afton is actually pretty gross. Especially since there's no real acknowledgement of this, so it's not like it's trying to say something. It just has it and you. This being something also passed into Vanny, as in cut emails it was revealed that William was threatening to break her fingers. Something that, if it was made canon, would have probably killed some of the shipping. Also, I didn't have anywhere else to put this, but there is a scene in the fourth closet that rips off that Saw 3 scene where Amanda has that woman surgically work on Jigsaw. Except it's Baby having Charlie's friend surgically work on William for some reason. It makes me think that Baby's change might have been a desire to add this femme fatale character and needing someone to fill that spot, so they chose her. The sad part is that we will likely never have another FNAF villain again other than William Afton. Remember when I mentioned that sign of things to come? Well, when Sister Location came out, the content was largely about William Afton, a theme that has continued up until Security Breach. To the point where it was so vital to bring him back that the new villain was entirely sidelined. Baby doesn't have a shot. Also Scrap Baby is hotter than Sexy Baby, fight me. So initially that was where I was supposed to end things, but then I watched the video through and decided that there was something I wanted to clarify on. I don't want anyone to mistakenly think that what I'm saying is that I'm against Baby getting character development. While I go on about how impressed I am with Baby as a villain, I am not against her character being fleshed out beyond being manipulative and cruel. Baby is a tragic character and I think that could be expanded upon in interesting ways. My problem with is that they destroyed what Baby was. Baby was a hidden threat in a cutesy body. She was clever and knew how to hide that behind a soft-spoken facade. Yet all of this was stolen from her, instead turning her into a piece of eye candy on a leash. Baby deserved better.